You know, much like getting a stylish 1996 Chicago Bulls hoodie a full 27 years after the Christmas you asked for it, learning music theory is better late than never. So we're going to talk about some music theory today in 3 different keys. The cool thing about this is you're not going to have to think, all right? A lot of the music theory detractors out there is like, I don't want to have to think about numbers and letters and math when I play guitar, as if that's what it actually is for, right? This is going to be super simple stuff. You already know all of this. It's just using things you already know, putting them together, and using music theory as a way to help you in a Chicago Bulls themed guitar lesson sponsored by DistroKid. More about that later, all right? So the 3 keys we're going to learn this in are going to be the key of C, the key of G, and the key of D. Okay? Now the reason I picked these 3 keys, which may seem like popular keys to you, is because the strings of a standard tuned guitar, E, A, D, G, B, E, all those notes are in these 3 keys, okay? So I'll link you to a video on the circle of fifths, which again has some numbers and letters in it. Don't be afraid. But the circle of fifths is a handy way to know that, like, all right, C has no sharps or flats. A fifth away from G, C, D, E, F, G. There again, there's some letters and numbers, has 1 sharp. A fifth away from that, G, A, B, C, D has 2 sharps. So F sharp and C sharp are the ones we add, but guess what? There's no F string and there's no C string. So the fact that they're sharp doesn't matter when it comes to moving shapes, all right? So what I mean by that is, let's just take a C/G chord, or you can even play it as a regular C major chord. That's right. We're going to think about this in the key of C first, okay? So now in the key of C, there are 3 major chords, C, F, and G. A lot of times, switch to with great difficulty, because these are very different hand shapes, right? But because the open strings are not going to hurt us, the open strings are all in this key, we can move the shape to a different location to get a different chord. Now the chord might have a technically different name than F major or G major, but the gist of it is the same. So what I mean by that is we can play C, F, G without having to change the shape. This is a 1, 4, 5 in C. C, F, G, or keep the same shape. C, F, G. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm taking that same shape, again, in the C/G position. It's 3, 3, 2, open, 1, open. I just take this mass of fingers, right? And then I just move it all the way down to the 8th fret. 8th fret on the A string is my F. That's my F major chord. 2 frets higher, we've got G major. We got the 3 top defenders in the league. MJ at the 1, Pippen at the 4, Rodman at the 5. Works well enough. I know Luke Longley played the 5. Don't give me a hard time about that. You want to come at me with some 96 Bulls trivia? Huh, I'm here all day, guys. Come on. Please, make my day. 1, 4, 5. And I don't ever have to change the shape. Okay, now what about the minor chords, right? Those are just the major chords in the key. We can take literally any of the minor chord shapes. There are 3 minor chords in any key. In C, they happen to be D minor, E minor, and A minor. We can kind of do the same thing. Let's take just the A minor chord. So this would be the 6th chord. Now if I want to do this on a D minor position, I just go to here. D minor, E minor. Now again, this would technically be the position for a D minor, maybe bar chord. And again, there's a sonic difference there. D minor triad, open voiced, D minor, E minor. We can just think about this as being D minor or E minor. It doesn't really matter, right? Maybe it's Steve Kerr hitting the 3. Maybe it's Judd Bushler. Maybe it's James Edwards. It doesn't matter. Somebody's open. There's a minor chord there, right? A minor, D minor, E minor. If anything, it's not easier or harder than A minor, E minor, D minor, but it opens up different sonic possibilities and maybe different sounds of something that maybe you want to try out. So we could really just take these 2 shapes, and honestly, if you want to get really crazy, if you just take that C/G, don't even use your pointer finger, we can use this same shape and then now move it all over. So now we're playing all of the chords, all the main chords in this key, using really one shape, right? And especially, in my opinion, with these minor chords where we have like, you know, this D minor with an A in the bass, which again, this is just an inversion. It isn't until we get to an E that we get like a, you know, a D, the open E on top here, then we have like a D minor add 9 or something like that. But those chords to me sound drastically different than the counterparts, but still maintain the structure and the integrity of actually what it is. So if maybe you got a song and you want to try to make it sound a little different because you're using basic chords, try using different chord voicings of shapes that you already know, and maybe it'll, you know, spark some creativity. And then you can put some music online, which is why DistroKid, the official sponsor of this video, aside from being a great company, they actually sent me a Christmas gift. They sent me a Snuggie, the first Snuggie I've ever gotten. Shout out to them. Great company, easiest way to get your music online. Now that the year is winding down, I actually made thousands of dollars just off having my music on TikTok. I don't even use TikTok, guys. I'm glad it's getting banned. I'll believe that when I see it. But I just put my music up on DistroKid, right? Super simple. All you have to do is have the audio file and a piece of artwork. They handle the rest. They send it to all the different stores. It's a super, super low yearly fee. And yeah, it just randomly got on TikTok and got like 50 million views plus. And I got my bag and I can get out of TikTok. I never had to open the app and it was able to collect all the money from that. I made a full video describing that entire process. Kind of wild story behind that, went viral. But yeah, incredible service. Dollar for dollar, I think probably the best service in music because everybody needs a way to kind of get their stuff online. And it just really does a great job of just handling it, keeping everything in one spot, really easy to withdraw money, all that stuff, and like a great, great price that never goes up. So thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring the video. I'll have an affiliate link so you can save a percentage off in the description if you want to click that. Let's go to another key, all right? Now, a fifth away, circle of fifths. If you want to find the key most like the one you're in, you go to your root position, right? So in the key of C, we have a C. Go 5 away in the major scale. C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And G is going to be the key most like C. There's only one note different. Instead of C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, we have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Okay, so this has one sharp. It's an F. There is another key that is only one note different. If you go a fourth down, you end up in the key of F, which has one flat. It's a B flat, but we have a B string, so we can't use all the open strings in the key of F major, okay? Maybe I've already bored some of you, but stick with it, because I do love the key of F very, very dearly. In fact, if you want to get crazy, you can just tune your B string down to B flat. But let's talk about the chords in the key of G. Let's take the same concept here, G major, right? I like using my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. But again, any G major chord you want to use, you can move this around to get the other major chords in this key. Now, in the key of G, again, still 3 major chords, the 1, 4, and 5, G, A, B, C major, and D major. So, very similar, but in this key, D is a major chord, not a minor chord. Now, you know, we could still do the same thing. We could do C, D, and play the D major there, and G using that same shape, but now let's use a different shape. Let's use the G major shape like this. 3, E, 2, A, open D, open G, 3, B, and then optionally if you want to get that high E string on top. Maybe the key of G, the People's Team, this could be like the 93 Bulls, right? Because D major seems very Horace Grant to me from a big 3 standpoint. If you know what I'm talking about, I bet you do. And then we can kind of just move this down to where the next major chord is. C, that would be the 8th fret. And then 2 frets higher gets you a D major chord. So we've got MJ, Scotty, Horace. Big 3, no matter how you cut it up. G, C, D. G, C, D. Really? Much different sound. It kind of sounds a little more open. plays a D major down here. You do now, because you appreciate great defense and rebounding. Horace Grant. Now let's take the minor chords, right? Let's go with the relative minor with each of these. So let's do E minor, right? Like this, open, 2-2, open, open, open. We'll call this John Paxson, right? Well, you thought I was gonna say BJ Armstrong, didn't you? No, BJ is coming down here. So now this is gonna be my A minor chord, and this is gonna be my B minor chord, because this is essentially the same shape as E minor. Open, 2-2, open, open, open. But the thing that we need to remember when you move this shape is the minor third here is important. So from 2D to 2 to open G is a minor third, which we don't really need you. We could just do it like this. But if this is John Paxson, and this is BJ Armstrong, and this is Bill Cartwright, I feel like you gotta give them their due. And I think if you don't have that minor third in there like this, it sounds too much like just an E minor, because all the open strings on top are still giving you an E minor chord. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this shape, but remember to have your pointer finger here. So again, open, 2-2, open, open, open. John Paxson. Open, 7-7, 5, open, open. There's your A minor. BJ Armstrong, 2 frets higher. This is gonna be B minor. B for Bill Cartwright. See how it just lined up like that? So we've got the 1 chord, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3. So again, you just took your knowledge of music theory. You know where all the notes are, right? There's your G major, your A is here, your B is here, your C is right here, D, and then E back here, and you get a great starting 6 just from doing all that, right? Now there was one more key we can talk about, the key of D major. This is the 5th away from G. G, A, B, C, D. Okay, so the next most like key of G goes in the circle of fifths. It's D. The only difference here, we've got D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D again. So C sharp has been added to the equation, right? Now, again, there's no C string, so we can still do the exact same thing, right? A couple different ways we can go about this. We can do this regular, tried and true D major right here. And then we can kind of move this up to the 4 and the 5 chord, right? So now D, E, F sharp, G, and A. So D major, G major, and A major. Instead of D, G, A, we can go D, G, A. Sounds like The Last Dance, right? Again, we still got the mainstays, but maybe we got Crew Coach, Scott Burrell. Why not? For some reason, this feels like Randy Brown to me, right? Kind of, higher pitched, smaller guard, but again, still a dog defensively. There we go. D, G, A. And again, much different sound than that. Not better, not worse, but different in a way that you can just keep the same thing intact, right? You can also do maybe like an inversion if you want to give this F sharp in the bass. I really like that because it gives you kind of a fuller sound. So again, 2, open, open, 2, 3. And then now if we track this all the way down, a couple ways to think about that. I always think of my root note being where my pinky is, so that's the D. I want to grab the G right here. And then 2 frets higher. And then back to 1. 4, 5, 1. So let's do a different chord voicing here. In fact, let's take the let's actually take the D minor chord voicing up a step. So this is going to be your E minor chord voicing now, because the minor chords in the key of D are E minor, which is the 2 chord, F sharp minor, which again gives a lot of people problems. This will be much easier, and then B minor, which is the relative minor, right? But we already kind of did a B minor shape with the A minor. So we're doing this one right here. So you go 1, 2, a full step from there, and then as long as I can read this on the B, there's my B minor chord right here using that same shape, okay? So 2 chord, 3 chord, instead of E minor, F sharp minor, B minor, D, G, A, D, G, A. So, like I said, I want to reiterate, these aren't better, they're different, but I do think they are better because they show that you have a little bit of music theory understanding, but it's simple. It couldn't be simpler, guys. Why mess with perfection? 72 and 10. Greatest team of all time. Just like you're watching the greatest guitar teacher of all time. Just kidding, you're not watching Marty Shorts. Marty's kind of like, he's the LeBron, and I'm the MJ, right? Probably got a higher ceiling, but Marty's just body of work is just without, it's incomparable. You know what I mean? Anyways, thanks for watching. Thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring the video. Thank you to you for acknowledging my part in the iconic Chicago Bulls dynasty. Oh, and thank you also for checking out the Martin Sean Daniels signature guitar. This is like the Jordan 11s of sneakers in the guitar world. Limited edition, can only pick it up at Sweetwater. I'll put you a link for this too. After you sign up for DistroKid using my link, really help the boy out. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section. Otherwise, I'll talk to you all soon.